Welcome back into Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head over to youtube.com. Find us in your search browser there. When you get to our page, subscribe to it. Leave us a comment, of course, free and available too to download on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Odyssey. When you get there, leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment as well. And follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. Last week, wide receiver for the Falcons, Olamide Zaccheaus, was talking to D. Orlando Ledbetter, a buddy here, about this upcoming season for the Atlanta Falcons. And he had this to say, quote, "I feel like we're a playoff team. We just have to put everything together, really start fast at the beginning of the season and not get into a hole. I just feel like as a team, we can shock a lot of people." Now, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is playoffs. Playoffs. Now, look, that's a really lofty goal, and I applaud and appreciate Zaccheaus for coming out and saying something like that. But is that reality? Most likely not. I think there is 6-win teams, so 6-11 is not going to get you into any kind of playoff, and you're going to have to find probably 3 to 4 more wins to be able to be a playoff team. What would have to happen for the Falcons to be a playoff team? One is you'd really either have to get Marcus Mariota, and that would be the most likely thing, to be honest with you. Most likely would be Marcus Mariota has his best season ever as an NFL quarterback. A veteran, been in Arthur Smith's system, picks it up and adapts right away, because here's the thing about a rookie quarterback. There's going to be a learning curve, okay? Not everybody's, even Peyton Manning, think about how bad he was in his rookie year, right? As many interceptions as touchdowns and this, that, and the other, and the Colts were okay, but again, you're going to have a learning curve, and that's with one of the guys who's considered the greatest prospects to ever come into the NFL. So I don't think it's a situation where Desmond Ridder would put this team in the playoff as much as Mariota would play out of his mind. The other thing about Mariota is he probably plays 15 out of 17 games. He'd have to have his healthiest season. What would a great year for Marcus Mariota look like? 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He'd have to play out of his mind. That would be one. Number two, your offensive line would have the biggest jump and growth of any offensive line in the league, because that is the massive question about this offense is, I don't care if we want to run it, we want to throw it, we want to do this, we want to do that. You don't have your offensive line set. So whatever combination of guys, you run it back with the same guys, new right tackle or new left guard or new center or whatever that combination is. I don't really care about the name on the back of the jersey, but as a group, they would have to drastically get better in all phases. Run the football, pass block, you name it, they would have to get much, much better in all of that. So your offensive line would have to leap forward. You'd also have to become a very good running team, because you're going to have to find a way to effectively run the football in the NFL. We could be a team that on 3rd and 2 can line up and push you backward, and we can put it through there and keep the chains moving. So their offensive efficiency from a play calling standpoint, especially from Arthur Smith, would have to be outstanding. So Mariota's got to have the season. He's got to have the best season in his career. It most likely has to be Mariota. He puts up big numbers and stays healthy. Your offensive line takes a big jump forward. Arthur Smith becomes a top 10 play caller. Your wide receivers develop. Then defensively, the first thing you start with is we become a 40-sack team. That would be the first thing that you would have to jump into this thing and tell me would be a 40-sack team. Why do you have to be a 40-sack team? I'll tell you here in just a minute, but I want to mention my friends over at Athletic Greens. Listen, everybody's trying to get in shape, right? You see, I'm a little bit more tanned up, trying to get healthy, trying to eat right, summertime, all this good kind of stuff, right? Let me give you something, a great, easy way for folks that are on the go, busy, can't find a way to always eat healthy and include all the vitamins and everything that they need in it. 1 scoop of Athletic Greens, and you got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens, everything that you need to get the day going, right? And look, we're all trying to figure out a way to get healthy, but also not break the bank, right? Well, this is going to cost you less than $3 a day if you're investing in all of this, and it's an all-in-one nutritional insurance supplement. I mean, you got over 7,000 5-star reviews of this product, so it's not just some ham and eggers. It's going to be a great product. And right now is a way to reclaim your health and your immune system. We're getting into summertime, right? Summer's here. We want to look good. We want to feel good. Put a scoop in a glass of water. Take it first thing every day. That's all you got to do. That's simple. That's it. You don't have a million different pills and supplements in everything that you got to do. So right now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/MLB network, athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership of your health and pick the ultimate daily nutritional insurance out there. So check it out, one scoop, and it gives you everything that you need. Now, why do I say 40 sacks? Go look at playoff teams on average over the last decade or so. 40 is always sort of that magical number that if you can find a way to get into 40 sacks, that can make you a defense that's worthy of being a playoff team. Yeah, you got to be better pass defense. Okay, start with sacks. Okay, it so much of defense in the NFL starts and ends with sacks, because if you can sack the quarterback, you can figure everything else out, right? I mean, that old adage about, oh, you got to be good against the run, and I get it. But if you can sack the quarterback in today's NFL, you do the number one most important thing on defense in the NFL. You change up, down, and distance. Nothing more important than changing up, down, and distance in the NFL. The playbook for 3rd and 2 is a lot more broad and open than the playbook for 3rd and 12. And so if you can sack the quarterback and create havoc on the front of your defense, you can get away with a lot. That's how the Falcons got away with their defense in 2016. They didn't do a lot of things well, but they had the NFL sack leader, and they could get to the quarterback, and they could wrestle the quarterback down to the ground and make him get up looking out of his ear hole. So if you could start with that and make yourself a 40 sack defense. Now think about how big of a leap that is from 18 to 40. I know that sounds crazy, but that's about where you have to be. That if you look at the top, if you look at playoff caliber teams, that's where they land. So easy, right? For Olamide Zaccheaus, I got the blueprint. I can make this real simple for you. Mariota plays 15 out of 17 games, has his best season as an NFL quarterback. Your offensive line makes the biggest jump year over year of any offensive line in the NFL. You can run the football effectively and average over 4 yards per carry, and you can become a 40-sack defense. If you can do those things and you can jump that whole, get that big curve that you can jump in 1 year, yeah, you could be a playoff team. You could be a playoff team. Your quarterback plays great, sack the quarterback, run the football effectively, offensive line can hand it out to anybody. Yeah, that's the blueprint. Now, what's the reality of that? I don't know. Listen, I'll be happy if we go from 18 to, say, 30 sacks this year. If you could tell me we could get to 30 sacks this year, I'd be, happy as a pig in slop, right? Give me 30 sacks this year. Let me see some improvement out of our offensive line. Let me see what our answer is going to be at right tackle, or if there's a change at center or whatever like that. Even if you run it back with the same guys, tell me that Jalen Mayfield is a guy on the move, on the rise. Tell me that Matt Hennessy gets better. Tell me that Caleb McGarry can at least be adequate at right tackle. Again, I don't care about the names on the back of the jersey. You got to tell me that they're going to play better. And tell me that Marcus Mariota can stay healthy and play at all and help out this offense. Because, again, I don't think, honestly, that you can tell me that a 3rd-round rookie quarterback is going to magically leave. Well, the Seattle Seahawks did it with Russell Wilson. Yes, with the best running back in the NFL, the best defense in the NFL, and a terrific offensive line. Yes, if I can have prime Marshawn Lynch, the Legion of Boom, Bobby Wagner, and all of those guys, sure, I can play Ritter and probably find my way into the playoffs. Short of that, how'd you like to play, Mrs. Lincoln? Because we don't have Bobby Wagner and the Legion of Boom and all that defense. We don't have the best running back in the NFL. We don't have an outstanding offensive line. We don't have any of those things right now. What we have is a lot more questions than we have answers. So I appreciate the hype and the excitement and everything that Olamide Zaccheaus has. And look, that's what you're supposed to say, right? I mean, I don't want one of my players to say less than, hey, we're not going to be a playoff team. We're going to suck this year. No. Stick your chest out there, brother, and say it with some conviction. Say it like you mean it out there. But if we can knock out those few things that I mentioned, listen, Stranger things have happened in the NFL. All right, when we get back, it was quite the spectacle this weekend at Truist Park with the whole Freddie Freeman situation. We'll talk about that next. It's Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.